Hello everyone, myself lecturer Miss Aditi Anil Kushare, Master of Pharmacy in Quality Assurance Techniques. Today we are going to discuss about the topic Environment and Health from Health Education and Community Pharmacy. The topics to be covered in our today's session are as follows: Introduction to water, sources of water supply, distribution of water on earth, uses of water, overuse of water and conservation of water. So let's discuss in detail about water. Water is a vital natural resource which forms the basis of all life. It is one of the marvelous gift to us. About 70% of the human body is a water. The bodies of all the plants and animals contain the water. It has been estimated that the total water content on the earth is about 1385.5 into 10 raised to 6. About water, 97% of the water on the earth is the salt water. However, only 3% is a fresh water. Slightly over the 2/3 of this is frozen in glaciers and the polar ice caps. The remaining unfrozen fresh water is found mainly as a groundwater, with only a small fraction present above the ground or in the air. On the surface of the water, 71% is covered by seas and oceans, and remaining 29% is occupied by the land. Fresh water is a renewable source of water supply. Surface water and groundwater. Surface water and groundwater are both the important sources for community water supply needs. Groundwater is a common source for single homes and small towns, and rivers and lakes are the usual sources for large cities. Distribution of water on earth, that is distribution of earth's water: fresh water 3%, that is saline; oceans 97%, that is earth's water; fresh water, other water 0.9%, in that groundwater 30.1%, ice caps and glaciers 68.7%. Then surface water is 0.3%, in that rivers 2%, swamps 11%, lakes 87%, fresh surface water which is a liquid. Sources of water, in that there are two sources: surface water and groundwater. In surface water, that examples are the lakes, ponds, streams, rivers, storage reservoir. In groundwater, there is open wells, tube wells, artesian wells, springs and infiltration. Surface water, the surface water is a water on the surface of the planet, such as in a river, lake, wetland or ocean. It can be contrasted with the groundwater and atmospheric water. Non-saline surface water is replenished by the precipitation and by the recruitment from the groundwater. It is lost through the evaporation, seepage into the ground, where it becomes the groundwater used by the plants for transpiration, extracted by mankind for agriculture, living industry, etc., or that is discharged to the sea, where it becomes saline. Lake, ponds, streams, rivers. Lake intake, then that is the lake intake, then screening of water and suction wells. For obtaining water from lakes, mostly the submersible intakes are used. These intakes are constructed in the bed of the lake below the slow water level, so as to draw water in the dry season also. It essentially consists of a pipe laid in the bed of the river at one end, which is in the middle of the lake, is fitted with the bell mouth opening covered with the mesh, and that is protected by the concrete blocks. The water enters in the pipe through the bell mouth opening and flows under the gravity of the to the bank, where it is collected in a sump well and then pumped to treatment plant. If one pipe is not sufficient, two or more pipes may be laid to get the required quantity of water. Then river intake, let's see in this figure. Water from the rivers is always drawn from the upstream side because it is free from the contamination caused by the disposal of sewage in it. It has a circular masonry tower 4 to 7 meter in diameter constructed along the bank of the river at such a place from where the required quantity of water can be obtained even in the dry period. The water enters in the lower portion of the intake known as a sump well from the penstocks. The penstocks are fitted with the screens to check the entry of the floating solids. The number of the penstock opening are provided in the intake tower to admit the water at the different levels. The opening and the closing of the penstock valves is done with the help of the wheels provided at the pump house floor. Then groundwater. Groundwater is the water present beneath the earth's surface in soil pore spaces and in the fractures of the rock formation. Open wells, tube wells, artesian well and infiltration galleries. See the pictures. Uses of water. The use of the water may be broadly divided in three categories. Uses of water, then in that consumption use, for irrigation use, partial consumptive use, that is domestic use, industrial, institutional use, public use and fire demand. Then non-consumptive use, navigational use, recreational use, hydroelectric power generation and pollution control. Overuse of water. Rapid population growth and increasing the water consumption for agriculture, industry and domestic have strained the world's fresh water resources. The water disputes between the Indian states are increasing as they have to meet the increase in the water demand due to the overuse of water. Due to the expanding human population, competition for water is growing such that many of the world's aquifers are becoming depleted. This is due to the overuse of water. Conservation of water. The excessive and the unplanned use of the water has depleted our water resources. Water conservation includes all the policies, strategies and activities made to manage the fresh water as a suitable resource, to protect the water environment and to meet the current and the future human demand. Hence, there is immediate need for the conservation of water. Then domestic conservation. Verify your home is a leak free. Close the faucets while soaping and rinsing the clothes. Use wastewater in a flush. Keep overflow valve in the overhead tank. Don't overwater your lawns. Avoid the flushing unnecessarily. Use the sprinkle irrigation in your garden. Agriculture conservation, in that improved method of the irrigation like the drip irrigation and the sprinkler irrigation must be used. Conventional flooding methods of the irrigation should be discouraged. Avoiding the excess irrigation and reducing the losses from the canals by constructing the structures like the check dams, then khet, talwadi, pala, gully plugging. Rainwater harvesting. See, the rainwater harvesting is done like this. So, environment and health. The learning outcomes are introduction to water, then sources of water supply, then the distribution of water on earth, uses of water, overuse of water and the conservation of water. Thank you.